Hey, hello.
Hi, I am so excited to be here to meet with you. This is
Oh,
True
thank you.
Star Media. What is up, everyone? Today we are here having a session with the pros segment with none other than the businessman and author, Shawn Amos. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm a little tired. I just landed in Madrid, Spain, so I'm sort of
Okay.
getting my bearings about me.
Oh, I see a little jet lag. You know what?
A little.
I completely get you. I completely get you. But please enjoy Spain. You know, that's one of my
I
dream
will.
vacations. So I just know you are going to be living it up while you are there. Please enjoy. And thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy vacation to talk with us here for the Session with the Pros
It's
segment.
okay. It's not a vacation. I wish it was a vacation. I'm actually here playing some music. I'm also a musician,
Oh,
so I'm here
oh my
playing
gosh.
playing some blues music for 10 days. I've 10 shows over the next 13 days with my band here. So.
Oh, okay. Okay. So multi-hyphenate. We absolutely love that here at True Star Media. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to come and talk with us today. So before we get started, I'm sure every single person here who is watching this video today has heard of Famous Amos or has had some of their delicious cookies. I know that I have personally, some of my favorites. And one thing that I want to ask you, since you are the son of Wally, aka Famous Amos, you and of the famous cookie company, you worked alongside him with building this iconic brand from the ground up. What would you say are some key points that you learned from your father that really helped you as an entrepreneur?
Oh my gosh, I just wrote a book about growing up in that cookie store called Cookies and Milk, and it's a sort of fictionalized version of my growing up there. I was 7 years old when my father and I
Wow.
opened up that first cookie store, and so the first thing I learned was how to work a cash register, and I learned and how to make change.
Pure
And
entrepreneurship.
learn how to stock milk and how to weigh cookies. But I think overall, the thing I learned that I keep with me to this day is just the value of hard work, and that most of starting a business or running a business is not glamorous. It's just a lot of drudgery, and it's a lot of details, and every detail matters. And my father really was someone who placed the importance on, or I guess told me find joy in everything, and so and everything matters. It's not just the stuff that all the folks see, all the accolades you get. It's all the stuff you have to do before the store even opens, or to get ready for the store to open. And so it's all in the details. It's all in the details.
All in the details. I love that. And I also, one thing that I truly do love is how you kind of fictionalize what it was like growing up and doing all of those different things. I mean, 7-year-old you was learning how to use a cash register. Like, if that's not pure entrepreneurship right there, I genuinely do not know what is. So I have to say full props to you for that. And it's just amazing how you're sharing your story and your journey with your new children's book, Milk and Cookies, which describes it firsthand. So one thing that I really want to ask you is what was your clicking point that made you really want to create this book? And what do you hope that readers can gain from it?
Wow. The book's really a culmination of a lot of storytelling I've been telling for years about my childhood. My parents were divorced. I've had a lot of trauma in my childhood, and through my music, I've made a number of albums, and through other writings I've done. So it's my first book I've written before, but for a lot of years I was talking a lot about the sadder parts of my childhood, and I got used to telling those stories, and I think I got a little too used to telling those stories. And then around 4-ish years ago, I found myself divorced, like my father, and I have 3 children and one son, and I found myself estranged from my son, like I was estranged from my father. And so there was this moment of feeling like history was repeating itself in a way that was a bummer for me. And then thinking about that, and thinking about my own father and familial patterns, I started thinking about that cookie store, and started thinking about that while my memory had been of like my father not being around and how Famous Amos ultimately became successful and took him away a lot. My parents were divorced, and so I spent more time with my mom than my dad, and blah, blah, blah. But what I realized in that sort of early days of my own divorce was that, wow, when we first opened that store, I had my dad to myself, and that was a real beautiful father-son moment that I'd sort of just forgotten about, and so
Yeah.
I wanted to dig into that memory and to sort of hold it tight, and I wanted to have it, memorialized, for myself, for my own son, for my other relatives. I just wanted sort of it to be known that there's a moment in time, when it was really it was all really sweet, no pun intended, or pun intended.
Okay, I know that wasn't intentional, but it definitely was something that was very great added there at the end. A very nice touch. I have to say that it truly is touching how, even though there were a lot of memories that weren't the utmost high, you were still able to take something that was so incredibly beautiful and that taught you so much and be able to turn it into a beautiful art form that you can share with so many individuals, so many youth, so many people in your family, so many people around the globe that will be able to personalize themselves with it and will be able to feel as if it's something that they aspire for, that they want to be able to learn about just the importance of family and Black entrepreneurship throughout that book, which are two things that you really, really often touch on. So one thing that I love how you touch on it. I truly do. And one thing that I want to know from you is, why do you find Black entrepreneurship so incredibly important?
Because there's not enough of it that is
Mm-hmm.
shared with Black people.
Yeah.
The book's about Black entrepreneurship. The book's also about Black joy, and I think that we we don't control our own narrative enough. Right? Our narrative is controlled a lot by others, and so I know for me personally, growing up, and even to some extent now, I mean, what I'm shown of Blackness is limited, and it's through a lens of adversity and a lens of all the ways in which we have been wronged. It's almost similar to like my childhood story. It's like we use these images of like how Blacks are on the short end of sticks, whatever, of the stick. But we have an incredible entrepreneurial history and an incredible entrepreneurial story. And being Black in America, just in of itself, is an entrepreneurship story. It's just,
So
I mean,
true.
every day is a hustle.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just think that we're so creative, and we've contributed so much to this country. I say this being now an ocean away, and it's just good to have reminders, of our strength, of our creativity, of our stick-to-itiveness, as my dad used to say, that we make stuff happen. We make stuff happen, and I think you can't tell that story too many times.
Mm-hmm. You cannot. You cannot. And like you said, we have contributed so much to this country, and we really do have very strong entrepreneurship values. So it
Yeah.
is really important to tell, even though the media, there can be a narrative out there that says that we are not. It's not a whole lot of stuff out there that's positive showing our entrepreneurship values. But
Yeah. The other thing too, I think going back to the family thing too, it's like, you
Mhm.
know, it, we like the divorce story and sort of the entrepreneurship story. I mean, it's an American story, right? I mean, America is sort of a place where you can reinvent yourself and become anything you want to be, and sort of create yourself into anything you want to be, right? Like Sean Carter becomes Jay-Z, and I mean, it's you can sort of just wake up one morning and say, I'm going to decide to be famous, right? Or I'm going to, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to decide to be Beyonce, or I mean, and that's a quintessentially American thing.
Mhm.
And so I think that these stories are Black stories are American stories, right? American stories are Black stories, and I hope that it's a fine line to walk where on one hand I think that we owe it to ourselves as a community, as a race of people to tell all of our stories as much as possible, because we need to champion ourselves, and we need to hold each other up, and we need to support one another, and we need to celebrate all different forms of Blackness. And at the same time, we need to say loud and clear, we're also, American, and our story is the American story as well. It's a Black American story.
Exactly. There are important stories that need to be shared with the world, because at the end of the day, yes, they are Black stories, but at the same time, like you said, they're just American stories. But at the same time, our Blackness is very special, and it's something that needs to be out there for everyone to be able to know, because we're still entrepreneurs, great ones at that. We have been built off of an entrepreneurship background, and that's an important story to tell. And I love how through your book, Milk and Cookies, you are telling it not only to everybody in the world, but also to a younger audience, so the youth will be able to see it too. And that's something that is so incredibly powerful. And I just have to say, honestly, thank you, because I needed to put it out there. That's just amazing. I love that. And I know everyone is going to love reading it. And something else that you are also doing with the Famous Amos brand, which is something that I learned about recently, and I was like, oh my gosh, that is amazing, is the new program titled the Famous Amos Ingredients for Success Entrepreneurs Initiative. Do you mind describing what the initiative is and how it got started in the first place?
Yeah, I can take no credit for it. I'm really happy it exists and my father's name's on it. But the folks who are at Famous Amos now decided to launch a program to support Black entrepreneurship. And so there's been 2 rounds of the program. The second round applications just closed end of June, I think June 28th. And 3 grants are being given to Black entrepreneurs of $50,000 each. They're unrestricted funds. They can be used for in any way that an entrepreneur needs in order to fund their business or grow their business. Amazing. And so they came to us, the family, with this idea, God, maybe close to a year ago, I want to say, just to let us know our thoughts. And we were so touched by it, because it's exactly what my father was all about. He started Famous Amos with $25,000. He got 3 different investors who put in $25,000 total. And so to think that 3 different people are going to get double the money that he started his company with to make their dream come true is phenomenal. So it's a beautiful program. I hope they continue it in the years to come. But they've already done 2 rounds, which is super generous, and it's sort of a testament to the ongoing spirit of my dad.
I think that is beautiful. When I heard about the program, I'm like, I love how the brand is doing this to be able to uplift other Black entrepreneurs as well. That's something that's just amazing, not just running with the success that's already had, but using that success and everything that's learned to be able to feed into other entrepreneurs as well, that will grow into really, really big companies that will be able to help so many people. Like, that is just something that is so beautiful. And I think that is
forward. Pay it forward.
Pay it forward. Pay it forward. That is just an amazing mindset to have. And I love how Famous Amos has just been able to do this. It's so incredibly inspiring. And one thing I want to know, because I'm a young person, I'm 14. I consider
14? You're not 14.
I am.
21. You're going on 21, or you're so poised. I have 3 kids, and my youngest will be 14 in November.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm a December baby, so I'm gonna be 15. Okay. November.
December what? December what?
I'm December 5th.
Okay. Right. Sagittarius? Is that Sagittarius?
That is Sagittarius. Okay, I see you know your signs. I love that. I really do. And one thing I want to know, as a young person who is an entrepreneur, how old do you have to be to apply to this program? And even if you are too young, what are some ways that you can start preparing? Because I know I want to try this program.
I believe you have. So there was. It's funny. We Famous Amos sponsored a young entrepreneurship program, in which I was a judge last month. I think it was. I think this program you have to be at least 18, but I'm not positive. I believe you have to be. I believe you have to be an adult. Khadijah, can you answer that one? I know Khadijah's on the line there.
About the age limits?
Yeah.
I don't think that there are any age limits, but your business has to be established for at least 5 years.
Okay. Okay, got it. So the business has to be established for at least 5 years. But I
There you
know
go.
that I am going to be preparing because I want to be able to enter. I just know that there is so much that I will be able to learn, so much that I will be able to expect. So it is something that I am truly, truly excited for.
What
And
business you want to start? So, I mean, you're a budding journalist. I mean, you're not budding, you are a journalist. You're interviewing me better than most adults I've had interviews with.
thank you
But so,
so much.
but what business dreams do you have?
So I actually have a production company called Inspired Melanin. I
Nice.
Screenwriting and directing and filmmaking is truly one of my passions, and I know that I really wanted to just be able to start a company that will be able to curate projects, whether they're scripted or non-scripted, that will be able to just tell underrepresented stories, specifically of African Americans, because I felt like there was just such a lack in all of the youth content that I was watching where I was actually able to see people that looked like me. So
Yeah.
that is what I do, and I feel like it truly is just such a beautiful thing to be able to see other people that are out trying to uplift Black voices, because it's something that is so incredibly important, and I want to be able to do the same, exactly how everything Famous Amos is doing, just uplifting Black voices through entrepreneurship. It's just something that's honestly one of the best things to see ever. So it really just makes me inspired. But yeah, that is what I'm
Right
doing.
on. I love it. I love it. You are an inspiration.
Oh, thank you so much. I cannot believe that I was actually just called an inspiration by you. Okay, I need to take a step back. That is
Oh, please.
Thank you so much. And so one thing also, the program aims to support early stage Black businesses. And something that I want to know from you is, what would you say are some important things that Black entrepreneurs need to take into account when plotting out their business plan? What would you say are a couple of things that they should note down?
Oh, wow. I think it's important to surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, and people who you can trust. And this was frankly a failing of my father's, where he started something because he had a great idea, and he had challenges running it, and so um, I wish he'd had the folks who are running Famous Amos now. I wish they were around back then. When he was starting the company. But I think that it's this double-edged sort of being an entrepreneur, because there's a lot of hubris, confidence, and frankly, a bit of arrogance that's needed, to start something that hasn't been started before. And at the same time, there's a degree of humility that's needed to recognize what you don't know and go find answers about things you don't know, so you can make smart decisions. So I'd say maybe a cleaner way to say that is to balance the confidence with some humility, so you surround yourself around people who are smart and who you can also really trust.
That is amazing advice. I know one thing, when you surround yourself by people who may be more experienced in a field than you, then you can learn so much from them that you may have not even know that you needed. And I feel like
Yeah.
that's so important. So I love that you touched on that, because, and I always say this, if I'm interviewing someone and they say such a beautiful point, I'm like, if you need to pause, if you need to rewind, if you need to hear that again, if you need to write it down on a notebook, I don't care what you do. But that is some amazing advice that I feel as if every Black entrepreneurs in general, truly should take into account, because it's something that you can really learn from, which is why mentorship is such an important part of everything, I personally feel like.
For sure.
And I love that you touched on that. I really do. And as we are running short on time, unfortunately, I want to be able to ask you just one last question, because I feel like something so important that everybody needs to know. Where can people find your book, Milk and Cookies, and where can people learn even more about the Famous Amos Ingredients for Success Entrepreneurs Initiative? Where can people
So the book, which is Cookies and Milk, I know which is it's a flip on.
Okay, flip out Cookies and Milk.
It's available everywhere: Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Target, anywhere you buy books. Go to an independent bookshop. Support independent booksellers, because they need all of our love. But yeah, the book's available everywhere. that you buy books, Cookies and Milk. You can find out more about the Famous Amos entrepreneurship program at Famous Amos. Google Famous Amos, and there's information there. The direct URL, maybe you can put on the screen. That it's escaping me at the moment, but Famous Amos, and the URL will be down there because they'll dial in and post.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Everyone,
since you are the media person.
Yes. Don't worry. TrueStar Media, we will have it right here for everyone to be able to go and check out, because I know that the recent program, the submissions just recently closed, but please keep it on the lookout. Put it on your calendar for next year, especially if you are an entrepreneur that has your business for 5+ years. The age limit, as we are currently aware of, is not there. So please know, even if you're 11, if you've had your business since you were 7, still prep to apply. Because you never know, you could be selected and be able to learn so much from this program. And also, please make sure to read the book. I know that I cannot wait to. There's actually an independent bookstore near my house. I'm about to go today and see if they have it, because I need to read it for sure. So I just want to thank you so much, Mr. Amos, for coming on with us.
Thank you.
Please enjoy your trip in Spain. I know that it is a work trip, but please enjoy the sights.
Best kind of work.
Beautiful. The best kind of work. Yes, the best kind of work. Yeah. Yes, thank you so much. Are there any last words that you would like to say to our audience today?
Stay curious. Keep the faith.
Stay curious, everybody. Thank you so much. This is Avery Kelley with TrueStar Media, and we are out. Thank you so much for joining this session with the pros. Mr. Amos, have a great rest of your day.